This is the classical comics graphic novel adaptation of Frankenstein by Mary Shelley, featuring original text by the author, but greatly abridged for classroom and for classroom use and for the um, comic book adaptation format. So we have here all classical comics books are made and designed specifically for classroom use, and so you have books that very closely follow the original novels, both in structure, plot, and style. All of the classic comic adaptations open with a list and illustration of all of the characters, which I find really helpful, especially in terms of helping readers keep track of who everyone is in the story and all of the different names. I know when I was a young reader, I often had a hard time, especially with, for example, keeping track of all of the character names in Jane Austen. And so this series adapts a number of different canonical texts and always opens with the list of characters so we know who is who. Here we have the creation scene. Again, because this is meant for classroom use and younger use, the violence and gore are kept to a minimum, and instead what we have is an emphasis on the ghoulish nature and also the emotional elements of the story. Very little gore, but still we have a lot of different techniques used to illustrate sublime feelings and emotions. This is a great image of the creature in the Arctic, in the cold, in this new blue and kind of half silhouette figure. And we also, in these books, often have a number of historical and literary references. And here we have a moment where it's part of the story, but we have the image here of Victor and Henry and Elizabeth in this idealized scene. And were they reading Percy Shelley's poetry? So we have a kind of superimposition of the Shelleys and Byron into this trio, also kind of pulled together with this little Easter egg intertextual reference. Here we have a beautiful illustration of Lucifer from Paradise Lost. And there's lots of literary references, and this series includes lots of different classical 19th century texts, all adapted for classroom use, and a lot of Shakespeare also. And this should absolutely be a staple in every middle, junior, and high school library.